Good evening, beautiful, beloved souls. Welcome back. My name is Gemstone, and I'm a psychic medium and an author, Gem with a J. This commentary, and I do commentaries and I do PowerPoints. This commentary is titled, Why People Pretend to be Possessed Online, the Psychology, the Performance, and the Spiritual Truth Behind It. You know, I've noticed something lately. Suddenly, everyone online is possessed. TikTok has more demons than a medieval church on heatwave. Every time I scroll, someone's shaking, screaming, or staring into their camera like they're trying to seduce a poltergeist. But here's the truth, and it's going to make some people uncomfortable. 99% of these possessions are performances, and the other 1%, those are misunderstood emotional or spiritual experiences that get mislabeled because demon is the only language some people have. So, tonight we're diving into why people pretend to be possessed online, what real spiritual experience actually feels like, and why the entire idea of demonic possession is far more about human belief than entities crawling into you like they booked an Airbnb. Part 1. Why people fake possession, psychology, and behavior. Let's start with the obvious. Views. Nothing gets attention faster than acting like a demon is trying to speak through you, especially if there's dramatic red lighting, heavy breathing, and a filter that makes your eyes look like a cheap horror movie from 1993. But there's a deeper psychology behind this trend. 1. People want an identity. In a crowded online, the fastest way to stand out is to claim something extreme. Oh, you do makeup? Cute. I speak to Lucifer in my pantry. It's a theatre. It's branding. It's a cry for uniqueness in a world drowning in content. 2. People want validation. There's a particular kind of attention you get when people say, "You're so spiritual, you're chosen, you're special." Possession becomes a shortcut to I matter. 3. Some people mistake emotional overwhelm for entities. Disassociation, panic attacks, trauma responses, and sleep paralysis, believe me, can feel terrifying. But without psychological language, people grab spiritual labels like, "I must be possessed." And of course, 4. Some people are just bored. And TikTok rewards boredom with creativity. Unfortunately, that creativity often looks like I'm possessed. Like and subscribe. Part 2. My psychic intuitive download. Now, where I bring in here something deeper. Something I've channeled over the years, and something I wrote in my book, Seeing the Spirituality Behind the Negativity, a menu for the game of life. I've channeled a lot about this so-called demonic energy, and what I've learned is this. People are not possessed by demons. People are possessed by beliefs. Let me say that again. It's the belief in being evil, unworthy, broken, or corrupted that people internalize and then act out. When someone has grown up in a religious environment that constantly says, "You're sinful, you're dirty, you're vulnerable to evil," they eventually embody that label. They take on the role they were assigned. It becomes a spiritual costume. I've channeled this many times. Souls are sovereign. Souls cannot be taken over. Nothing owns you. Nothing enters you. Nothing puppets your consciousness from the outside. What people call demonic possession is often a psychological or cultural role that they step into because they were told that's what happens to bad or broken people. And the more they believe that label, the more they act it out. It's not a demon. It's a script they've been handed. Part 3. The spiritual truth from my channeling. What I've channeled about spirituality and negativity is this. This reality is a game, a school, a simulation of choices and identity. And in this game, one of the experiences souls explore is duality, light and dark, good and bad, power and weakness, hot and cold, male and female. So, when people think they're possessed, they're actually exploring a role inside the game's storyline. But here's the key. Souls always belong to themselves. There is no external entity that can override your free will. There is only belief, trauma, and misinterpretation. If someone believes in demons, the mind will create an experience to match that belief. It's not evil. It's a feedback loop, which is why real spiritual experiences feel nothing like the They feel nothing like the horror movie theatrics that people do online. Real energy doesn't scream. It doesn't jump. It doesn't throw furniture. Real energy feels like heaviness, confusion, emotional waves, intuitive signals, unresolved trauma rising to the surface, suppressed fear, wanting expression. Nothing about it is demonic. It's human. Part 4. Why is this trend growing now? This is the strange part. People online are not faking possession because they believe in demons. They're faking it because they believe no one will notice them unless they perform. In a world of flashy edits, viral sounds, and shock culture, the human desire for connection has been replaced by a desire for reaction. Possession gets reactions, but genuine spiritual insight, honesty, emotional vulnerability, those take courage. And courage isn't trending. Part 5. Bringing it all together. So, when you see someone claiming to be possessed online, ask yourself, are they overwhelmed, acting lonely, or simply repeating the label they were given by religion or culture? In the end, nothing can take over a soul. Souls are sovereign. Souls are powerful. Souls are not rental properties for demons. Everything you are seeing, every scream, every eye roll, every dramatic grasp is a part of the human story, not a spiritual invasion. And if someone truly wants healing, they don't need an exorcist. They need understanding. They need grounding. They need to reclaim their truth. You cannot be possessed. You can only be convinced. If you enjoyed this blend of humor, psychology, and intuition, hit like, subscribe, and let me know if you want me to cover other weird online behaviors, because honestly, TikTok is giving me hours of material. Thank you for watching. Please, I ask, leave a respectful comment. Please be kind to each other and to yourselves. Love, light, and blessings. And I just thought I'd throw that in there for shock value. I'm not possessed. You cannot be possessed. Bye.